My parents killed my dream, and I don't know how to move on. I don't even know how to process this. I just need to get it out. There was a college, the college, where I knew I belonged. My dream school. Right after taking CLAT, which, for those unfamiliar, is basically India's version of the LSAT for law school admissions, I sat for their entrance exam, passed, and even cleared the interview. This wasn't just any university, it was a law school that also functioned as a firm, offering real-world experience, internships, and everything I needed to carve out a future in law. And that was the dream. I didn't always know I wanted this. I come from a science background, spent years thinking I was supposed to do the practical thing, engineering, medicine, something stable. But after months of searching, questioning, actually figuring out what I wanted, I found it. Law. For the first time, I saw a future I truly wanted. And this university was the perfect place to build it. I worked so hard for this. Months of grinding for CLAT, exam after exam, interview after interview, pushing myself because I wanted it that badly. And when I finally got in, all I needed was to confirm my admission with an advance payment of 25,000 Indian rupees. That's when everything came crashing down. I asked my parents. They said no. Told me they were in a financial crisis and couldn't afford it. I stayed calm, explained that I had already secured a scholarship that cut my fees by 30%. I thought that would change things. It didn't. They told me to focus on my board exams, as if I wasn't already doing that. The deadline approached. I kept reminding them. They never took it seriously. Then the due date arrived. I asked again, and they still refused. So I suggested taking an education loan. They shut that down too, claiming they wouldn't be able to manage the future payments. And here's where I started feeling like a fool, because these same people who apparently couldn't afford my education had just blown a ridiculous amount of money on my cousin's wedding. A wedding that didn't even need to be that expensive. Even my cousin admitted it was unnecessary. But they went ahead, spent lavishly, got themselves into debt. And when it came to investing in my future, nothing. I had done everything right. I had earned this. And when the day came, I broke down. I begged them. I cried. I pleaded for them to at least try. But they were stubborn. They just kept repeating, "How will we pay the fees later?" As if they ever had a plan for my education to begin with. A week later, the university called. They were willing to extend the deadline. I told my parents. This time, they said maybe they could manage. No commitment, just empty words. Then the new due date arrived. Again, they did nothing. That was it. I snapped. I told them everything I had been holding back, how they never planned for my future, never cared enough to prepare, never even tried. Then my board exams happened. I shoved everything aside, buried the anger, forced myself to focus. And then, a few days ago, I received my official acceptance letter in the mail. At that point, I had already lost hope, but just to be sure, I contacted the university. And that's when I found out, if I could make the payment that day, I could still take admission. It was a miracle. The only reason it was even possible was because I had managed to get in touch with the head of admissions and explained my situation. They were willing to make an exception for me. I was this close. I ran to my parents, breathless, desperate, telling them this was it. One last chance. And this time? They didn't even pretend to care. No discussion. No hesitation. No attempt to figure something out. Just nothing. That was the moment my last shred of hope died. I got into a massive argument with them. Said things I never thought I would. But honestly, I don't even regret it. They crushed everything I worked for. And now, I have no idea how to move forward. I feel lost. I don't know what to do anymore. Edit, I'm adding a few notes here since all of you are confused. I'm 18 and currently I don't have the important documents which will allow me to make a bank account. I had repeatedly told my parents to make them, but they just didn't take it seriously. And that my cousin wanted a small wedding, still our family pitched for a big one.
Relevant comments. I'm confused. Couldn't you take out loans in your name? Another commenter. Something I've been noticing a lot on Reddit. When these teens find out their parents can't foot the bill for their dream, they act like their lives are over. Then again, I have zero idea how these things work in India, so maybe I'm just an uninformed a-hole.
Another commenter. I am Indian and I know the system. How it goes there. Actually, the thing is for them to take a student loan in India. He will have to take approval of both of their parents. And in this case, I don't think the parents are very supportive in that regard.